What's going on, guys? So today we will be talking about how to stay organized and how fitting that I look so spiffy. So we're going to talk about organizational skills, especially for those of you who feel like you yourselves are not organized. 3 simple tips. Let's get to it. What's going on, guys? We are today going to talk about 3 simple ways a disorganized person can be more organized. And the reason I bring this topic up is because 1, I was hesitant to make a video about it because I myself am very disorganized. But 2, I realized this might in and of itself be a pretty niche subject. I know most people are not like perfectly organized. And so it might be important to talk about how people can be more organized, even if they themselves are coming from a relatively disorganized background. So to start, I actually have to prove to you that I actually am disorganized, because I feel like most of you may not understand or believe me when I say I'm horribly disorganized. So let me just give you an idea. Here's my background. My life, almost 100% of the time, is all over the place. I am one of the most disorganized people I know. And I know, again, this sample is definitely going to be skewed because I'm a medical student. Most medical students tend to be organized. I'm in higher education. The higher up you go in education, I just feel like it's a self-selecting group of people that end up being more organized. But even with all of that being said, I am one of the most disorganized people I know. And here's some evidence here. So I have a lot of email accounts. So that in and of itself already shows you I'm insanely organized. Like, people should not have more than 1 email account. But I have an Outlook account where I have 1,246 unread with like 300 draft. I have like 3 other Gmail accounts, and in each of them, these are actually like valid email accounts that I need to keep up to date with, and each of them I have 11,000 unread, 1,000 unread, and another 1,000 unread. And just to make it as authentic as possible, I actually did text my sister right before this video, and I was like, hey, question, do you think I'm organized? And she says no, like without a doubt. So point being, I am definitely not organized, so I'm hoping that these tips that I've used to kind of keep my life together will be helpful for you, because as someone who's coming from a background of being all over the place, I do think there is some value in staying organized, and these are the 3 tips that have really helped me solidify and at least help me get to where I am right now. The first tip I have for you is to make daily post-it notes. And I know this sounds very self-explanatory, but it's made a huge difference in my life. You won't understand, but basically almost every day or once a week, I will take out a piece of paper or post-it note. It doesn't have to be a post-it note. It can be a normal piece of paper. And what I'll do is, like, my mind will be so all over the place, I will literally jot down everything that I need to finish in the next 24 hours. Like, literally everything. Like, let's say I need to fill up a bunch of my water bottles. I use a lot of water bottles, so I'll fill up my water bottles. Another thing I'll usually do is, like, maybe I'll feel this need to respond to a bunch of texts that I haven't gotten to, or respond to certain emails I need to, or, like, finish homework A, B, and C for class, A, B, and C as well. So I will focus on everything in the next 24 hours that I need to get done and make a to-do list. And I usually do this for once a day or once a week. And I think this is best exemplified with this example. You'll see that I actually stick the post-it note on my table, and you'll see my table is actually worn out because every day I put a new sticky note on and I put tape over it. And what you'll see is I actually end up writing everything. So you'll see here I talked about a poster I need to send to Dr. Wu. There was a scholarship I was thinking of applying to. I wanted to publish a vlog. I had a deposit. I had an application that was due. I had modules. I had to get in touch with Samir. There was just like and then look at this. This is actually really cute. I do include like refill water bottles. So I have a bunch of water bottles in my room to make sure I stay hydrated. And sometimes it gives me a lot of anxiety because I know I'm running low on water, but I just haven't refilled my water bottles. So I make it an actual to-do item. And so I do that. And then I also had my Costco and Trader Joe's run. So you'll see that this sticky note was actually an example of like a lot of tasks I probably had to do over the course of the week, and I just wrote them all down. And this really helped me because I was able to like slowly check off things that I found to be useful and not. Here's another example. This one is a bit more ambitious. And what I did on this is I took a big sticky note and I broke it down into 4 big things. And you'll see that I actually broke things up into like literally everything. So you'll see that I had like a mental health appointment I was thinking of checking into with. I had my COVID elective that I was doing. I had to apply to my free clinic. I had some stuff I had to do with my roommate here. You'll see I even said I need to buy shoes, I need to buy jeans, I need to clean my room. I have emails for the last 3 months that I have to get to. And then for research, I had people I had to reach out to. And then for extracurriculars, I had other stuff I had to do. So you'll see that I literally write down everything I need to do, because sometimes writing it out in and of itself helps you get organized and be like, oh shit, I need to call this person for an appointment first before I do anything else, because that's the most time sensitive. So sticky notes are very clutch. Next up is daily text reminders. So these are super, super important because the text message is an underrated aspect of utility that I feel like not everyone knows about. I know people love their phone. Your phone is brilliant. But what you also don't know is you can text yourself in your phone. And when you text yourself, you actually give yourself a lot more breathing room for like literally anything that you have to do. So there will often be times where I'm in class or maybe I'm outside and someone says something and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna make sure I remember to do that. How are you gonna remember to do that? Well, one way to do it is to text yourself and leave the text unread until you need to read it, at which point you can actually do the work, right? So what I'll do is I'll text myself everything that I need to get done and then everything I've forgotten, and I'll leave the text unread. So that way, when I finally look at my phone over and over again, it will first of all be cemented in my head that I need something to do. But eventually, let's say a few hours later, I come home, I settle down, I finally get to work. What am I going to do eventually after a few minutes? Look at my phone. And when I look at my phone, what am I going to do? Check my text. And when I check my text right then and there's literally everything that I said I needed to do but hadn't done. And so that's a very underrated aspect, and I use that a lot. So let me also mention that if you forget what you need to do, it's in your text. So it actually becomes a virtual reminder log. And I actually now want to show you some examples of this. So I've blurred a few things out here for protection of my personal concerns, but you'll see I literally include anything and everything in some of this stuff. So you'll see on here it says finish the Instagram post. So if there's literally an Instagram post that I need to finish, I'll write that down as a to-do list. I even have things like, when you get calls from people that you know, but you haven't added them as a contact yet, I even make that a to-do list. So there's a lot of text messages back and forth with people that I haven't added as a contact. So I'm like, oh, make sure you add them as a contact, Prerak. And then obviously responding to text messages. Another thing I will often do is if I find a cool opportunity, maybe I'm scrolling through my email on my phone and I just got a new email and it says something awesome that I'm like, oh my God, I should check this out. What I'll do is take a screenshot of that email, text it to myself, and then write underneath it what I want to do. So there was a really cool mental health email we got that had a bunch of exercises of how you can improve your mental health. So I took a screenshot of that and texted it to myself saying, try to do this. So next time when I opened up my text messages and I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm going to make a physical reminder of this. So I translated what I had in my text to a sticky note. And that was just one of the ways I kind of sync a lot of things and keep a lot of my disorganized thoughts organized, because there's random things that happen in life and I'll just text them to myself because I'm like, oh, that's cool. For example, there was a photo contest. So I was like, look into the photo contest. So you'll see here I said that. There was another one about my insurance, and there was a PDF about my health insurance, and I was like, I need to save this PDF. But at the time I was on a walk. So I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna just text myself so I remember this. Similarly, there was a letter I needed to finish for a scholarship I got. And there was also this funding I wanted to look into for a lot of my entrepreneurial stuff. So all of these random small text messages, believe it or not, do a really good job of helping me keep my life together, way more so than I would have ever imagined. So it's a tip I wanted to pass on. Last but not least, the third tip I have to tell you to keep your life organized, and this is the most important tip, is to use Google Chrome. And I'm going to show you this because I think I can show you much better than I can describe it to you. But basically, whoops, it's spelled wrong. But notice that I have literally synced up most of everything in my life on Google Chrome. And when you sync things up on Chrome, not Drive, Chrome, it's easily accessible from any computer as long as you log into Google Chrome. So let me now just show you what I mean by this, and you will get the gist of it. All right, so here is my lovely homepage. I'm not going to try to go too much in detail because there's some personal stuff here, but notice that when I log into Chrome, you can log into Chrome and have your specific email account ready here. But notice that within Chrome, I have actually created a bunch of folders for literally everything. So this is my medical school folder, and within the medical school folder, I have different folders for different things. So for conferences, I have my American College of Physicians conference, and for that, it actually will redirect me to what I use to apply to this conference. Similarly, I also have broken stuff up into my MBA right? And so the good part about this is that everything I need to stay organized is right here between these two things. And the really important part is none of this stuff is stored on my hard drive. So even for things that are PDFs or important links, what I'll usually do is I'll take those and I'll convert them into like online Google Docs. And when I do that, it will actually allow me to then access it from this bookmarks page. And that way, when I need to use this, what I'll do is go to my bookmarks and I'll go ahead and click on things and I'll be able to access them. And that's like what I think is so cool, right? Like for different like things, so you'll see like for fall 2018 in medical school, I actually had a bunch of like Haven stuff, and you'll see that I linked all the relevant Google Sheets, and Haven is our free clinic. You'll see I had my fantasy basketball. You'll see that there was like where I signed up for my tours and dinners. Similarly in fall 2017 to spring 2018, I also had a bunch of academic stuff, right? And so for each of my academic things, I actually have all my resources here that I used. I have different links that I found useful. I had different like links for my other units as well. And I've done this over and over again for different things. I've done it for research. So I had a research project about cirrhosis, and these are all the relevant links for my cirrhosis project. So I can literally access this link from anywhere. Like if I got a new computer tomorrow and I just logged into Chrome, all of this stuff would be there. That is what is so phenomenal about this. Similarly, for my MBA, this is actually probably more relevant now, because you'll see that for my MBA year, I've included literally everything about my MBA. So for entrepreneurship, I know that there's all of these cool things that I want to apply to. So I've booked all of them under here. For classes, I know that for fall 1, I had a bunch of things. So I had like, let's see the consolidated syllabi, right? So there were syllabi for each of the classes I was taking, and someone made a Google Doc of it. So I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. What I'm gonna do is use this to kind of keep track of all of the assignments that I have. And so this is literally a consolidated syllabus of everything I needed to do. And I made it into a link so I could just click on it. So I thought this was like a really useful skill, and I've been doing this for literally everything since then. So I've done it for my accounting classes. Here's all my cool accounting stuff I've learned. Here's my modeling managerial decisions, and here's my probability class. There's some cool stuff. So lots of stuff, even exam schedules, everything I ever need to really get stuff done, I have created a link for and included in my Google Chrome. So it really helps keep things organized, and so I'm not reliant on a computer. Like if I went to the library and I just used the library computer, I could access all of these links. And so this is just goes to show just how easy it is to keep things on track. And I think I'll make a video in the future about even the specific things I have saved, because I do want to share a lot of these things with you guys. There's some really cool resources that are completely free. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.